So in order to do that, you have to go into the middle of the car, and I'll explain how I got there in just a second. So in order to take the bumper off, if you guys didn't know, it's really not that hard actually. There's a bunch of these little clips, like this one here. Basically, it just pops into the car like this, so it's flush. So the insert is flush to the bottom. And you take a flathead screwdriver, just a normal flathead like this, one or two of them, depending on how tight it is, and you can put it on those flat spots. And then basically you'll pop it out, and then let me see if I can just pop this one out real quick. Yeah, there we go. So now, once it comes out like that, you pull the middle out, and then you just have this, and this plug will just pull out of the bottom. And then you have to do that for each one of the pieces, each one of those on the bottom of the bumper. So each one of these holes like that on the bottom will have one of those coming through it. And you have to take those out. And then there's also 4 of them in the top underneath the hood. So these holes like that is what you have to take out. 2 of them are screw holes. On the bottom, I believe it's these second ones. I believe it's those there are actually screws that you'll need a Phillips for. And then underneath, or in the wheel well, there's going to be this hole. And that one is a screw as well, and you have to take that out. But then other than that, the whole thing pops off relatively easy. It has clips. Each one of these is a clip, so it does kind of pop out. So don't get worried if you hear something pop or snap or something. Worst case scenario, there is enough of these that if you do break one, it's okay. It'll still stay on. It won't be a huge deal. But so I'll show you how I ran my fog lights in. So there was 2 things that you had to worry about. There are 2 grounds and there are 2 powers on this one, at least. I know some of the kits on eBay or whatever, they're a little bit different, but this is how mine was set up. So what you have to do, or what I did at least, is take the front bumper off, and right where this guard is here, which is all just kind of sitting here right now, I ran the wires up. I ran the wires up over the wheel well. Let me get a light. Up over the wheel well, and then into the engine bay. And those come out right here, right in front of the battery. And then what I went from there is it needs a power. So the first power you plug in inside the car, and the other power you plug here. There's going to be 2 extra pieces in your fuse box underneath the hood. There's going to be this one right here and this one right here. Both of those are extra powers. You can see the white going to them, and they just sit there. They don't do anything, but those are actually extra accessory plugs that you can plug in for your fog lights. And so that's what I did with the one. And basically it's a small enough wire that you can just do that, and then this will sit right over top, and you just have this little wire running out. I haven't tucked everything away quite yet, but basically this is how it's going to be. And then down here, once you have that there's a ground that you can just connect. Actually, I connected both of my grounds right to the negative battery terminal. You can run it underneath the front right here and connect it to your engine ground here if you want to. That's an option as well, but I just didn't do it that way. So what I did is I took these wires and I ran them down. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see, but so that rusty metal bar right there, that's for your steering. If you look underneath of that, you see my yellow would be the easiest to see. The yellow wire that's down there and is going toward where that blue cap is underneath the strut. I'll show it on the inside better, but there's a rubber boot that's down there that you can pull back, and that's for all of your interior wiring and your taillights and everything that runs through the car. That's where it enters the cabin. So you can pull that back and feed the wires through there. And I'll show that on the inside as well. But that's the easiest way I found to do that. Then once you have that in, you come over to your passenger side, and come over to your passenger side, and right here, you're going to have your wires come through. Okay. You're going to have your wires come through actually from underneath. So there's that hole, the big block of wires. This right here, this is the wires for all of your interior and rear lights. Just one giant set of cords. And there's a rubber boot up here. You can kind of see it. There's that hole. That hole is what you're going to feed the wires through and what you're looking for on the outside. There's a rubber boot that slides over it to keep it waterproof, but you can slide the wires through there. And then what I did is, because where you have to plug the inside power on is underneath the underneath the driver's area, the steering wheel. Underneath of there's a fuse block, and there's a spare plug that's actually made for your fog lights, a plug that comes with the kit. And if not, you can always just put a wire into that hole and it'll do the exact same thing. So I ran it in through here, and then I ran the entire wire harness up behind here, just like I did for my interior lighting, which I have that there. It's ran the exact same way. It all runs underneath this middle part, which you can't see when the carpet is all up and together. But then once you run it from there, come back over to the driver's side. I'll show you where it actually plugs in. You're gonna have this piece under here. There's gonna be this fuse box, and what you're looking for is a 4-plug. Like the one that the single red wire is coming out of right now. That's what you're looking for. It's right to the left of the block. You really can't miss it once you're actually under here looking. But that's what you're looking for. That's what it's going to plug into. And like I said, if you don't have that plug exactly, you can always just take your power wire and put it into that slot, or create a plug or something, and it'll work the exact same way. And then once you've done that, the actual switch right here has a plug on the back that you're gonna have to insert somehow through the dash. What I ended up doing is, let me sit in here. What I ended up doing is running it right through on the left side. There's a little space that you can probably see if I put the light behind it. There's a little space, see there, this gap in here, where you can run all your wires through. And that's the easiest spot. I tried going through the right side originally, but this is all completely closed off in here. There's no way to get any wires through, not without actually like tearing apart the top of your dash, which I didn't really want to do. So I ran it all through from the left side, and that seemed to work the easiest. To get the dash piece off that you need to, it's really simple. So this is your the shift boot, the center console area for your shift boot. This just sits on here. All right, I'm sure you know how it goes on. And then what that takes to take off is a flathead again, and there's a clip. I'll show you. There are these clips which need to be taken off. There is the one there, there is one there, and one at the back. Basically what I've done to get this off, because you have to do the same thing to get a new shift knob on. Basically you just start at one end, left, right, front, back, it doesn't matter, and pop it up. And once you do that, you just work along it and you just pop it up. It shouldn't come out that hard. If it's never been taken out before, it might be kind of tricky. It was the first time I did it, but once you take it out a couple times, it's really not that hard at all. And then once you have that out, there are screws that hold on the actual center console piece. Let me see if I can open my cup holder. That's where I have the screws. So, oh, this is what the blank will look like when you take it out. It's literally just a blank square to cover the plug hole, so you can't see back at the wires or anything. But then do I have them here? Oh yeah, here they are. So there's going to be, well, actually, this is for the side. There's going to be a clip like this. This is going to be over here on the side of the footwell where that little hole is. You don't have to take that out, but it does make it a lot easier to maneuver wires, because then you can bend this piece back, and if there's anything getting in the way or whatever, you can pull it back and look at what you're working on. Just makes it a little bit easier. I think I put the screw outside that actually holds this on, but there are 2 screws, I believe, that hold this on. In these holes here, right there, there's one screw hole, and there's one on the other side, looks exactly like it. Those have to come out, and then basically it's the same idea as the other thing. You just use a flathead screwdriver and pop it out. This is a little bit more tricky because there's these side tabs here that actually have to be kind of slid out of their place. So it's kind of like you pop the back end off. You can pry that off with the screwdriver, but then to get the front piece out underneath of like your radio and everything here, this right here, you kind of have to like pull up and back at the same time. It's a little tricky. It took me a couple times to get it, but it's really not that difficult to do. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm forgetting? I don't think so. Yeah, reinstallation isn't that hard. It's exactly how you took it off. There's no tricks or anything to it. You can literally do this with a flathead screwdriver. That's all you need. It's really a one-part job. You might need a Phillips for those screws that I mentioned earlier. And then to get the fog lights actually into the bumper, if your car didn't have them previously, it was an option for the cars to have. So there's these covers, and on most cars, one of them will already be cut to begin with. So there's already going to be 2 holes here that you can run around and follow on the edge of the bumper, and this entire insert from the front will come out. So this piece here will come out completely, and then the headlights just snap into it. They just pop in. You slide them in from the front, so you'll slide them in this way, and then they click in, and then that's really all there is to it. I think I might run potentially like some super glue or something around the back just to make sure they don't fall in or fall out or whatever. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. If you guys have any questions or anything, just lay them down in the comments or on my Instagram, which is the same as my YouTube account, just without the HD on the end. And just to show you that they do work. Also, at least with mine, I'm not sure if all of them have this, when you do this and you turn the lights on, it's going to make this really annoying beep. Actually, I just remembered. I'm going to get out and close the door so it doesn't do it. But the light here is going to illuminate green, and that shows you have power. That's how you know you have power. So you can't run them without the lights on at all. But as long as the lights are on, so all you have to have is your driving lights on. As long as just the yellows are indicated, you don't even need your headlights. They will turn on. And it's just a click button. It's really easy. You can hear a little pop from the relay, and then, yeah, that's all there is to it.